What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. This is going to be another random list of songs I'm done with from some of my favourite bands. I decided to do another one of this because I was thinking about random songs until this list has been cropping back up into my head once again. I was taking Roscoe out for a walk and I thought of some more. This is in no particular order, but there's going to be some pretty controversial picks here. At least some would expect the predictability. Songs that are not bad, but there are reasons why I've put them in the list. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. The first pick to my list is Megadeth, Sweating Bullets. I would have put in Symphony of Destruction, which I still think is a really good song. But as Countdown to Extinction is one of my favourite Megadeth albums, Sweating Bullets just features some of the cringiest vocal performances from Dave Mustaine. And I know some people would take it or leave it when he does that type of choice for vocal recording. And Dave Mustaine is one of my favourite metal guitarists and songwriters. When it comes to the spoken word close to the microphone parts of the song, they just aggravate me. And the songwriting, while it is good, it's one of the simplistic songs on the album and with some great performances, but I just can't get over these types of vocal performances from Dave Mustaine. I think my comment previously when I reviewed the album would have been different back then, but when I listen to it now, I just can't stand those vocals. The next one is from one of my most favourite bands of all time, Iron Maiden. Now, I absolutely adore this band. Their discography is one of my most favourites, but I'm going to have to put in a single that came out in the 90s, and that is Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. From my least favourite Iron Maiden album, which is No Prayer for the Dying, when I listened to this track, there were some moments that I think, okay, I dig it, but to be honest, it's never one of my most favourites or favourite Maiden songs ever. And the chorus to me is uninspiring, and one of the worst parts about the album is the sound of Bruce Dickinson's vocals. He just sounds uninterested, and the hooks try way too hard to impress me. It's still insane to me that this single became their first #1, and there are many other classic tracks that I love so much more than this one. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter is just one of the weakest and one of my least favourite Iron Maiden tracks, in my opinion. Another one that brings up to my head is Raining Blood by Slayer. Now, I am not one of the biggest fans of Slayer. Some of the later stuff I do like, but I think the last great Slayer album is 1994's Divine Intervention. Anyways, Raining Blood. When I listen to Slayer, I would personally listen to other Slayer tracks that I love, and I get it that Raining Blood is a classic album and I love it, but the title track, Raining Blood, I'm getting burnt out by this one, and it's no surprise that some people would feel the same way. I love the energy, the frantic speed, and the sound of the band at one of their most ferocious yet. One of those tracks that I don't mind listening to, but through constant rotation of listening to it all the time, over and over again, I'm really done with that one. This next one's going to be extremely predictable and obvious for some, but I'm going to put in Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. Now, Deep Purple are another favourite band for me, and with Machine Head being a classic album, just like with Burn and Deep Purple in rock, Smoke on the Water is pretty much another one of those tracks that I don't mind listening to occasionally, but there are many other songs that are favourable for me. I get it that it is a big hit, it is so iconic, and For guitar players out there, you did it wrong if you think the riff's done by bar chords. It's with 3 strings of A, D and G. It's extremely simple, and it is still a really good song, but it's not one of my most favourable picks to really think that it is one of the top favourite Deep Purple songs of all time. I just think other tracks that have as much of the power, as much of the energy and the striking musicianship, to me, I'd listen to those than to cope with that same overplay issue of Smoke on the Water. The next one, some of you guys will agree with me on this. A song from my favourite band of all time, Slipknot. Psychosocial. Psychosocial is completely a big burnout song for me. The chorus, extremely memorable. The riffs, so catchy. I don't get it why many of the fans would see this as one of their greatest songs of all time. And to be honest, as much as that I am a fan of their All Hope Is Gone album, I will review the album, but I'm going to have a lot more words to say about Psychosocial. It's not a top 10 Slipknot song of all time for me, so I think that I am one of the less predictable and cliche ones to select Slipknot songs that have been always popular, that I don't see this one at all as one of the best songs they've ever written. This next song is from a legendary band that holds a very special place for me, as much as that there are other metal bands that I love just as immensely. Sepultura, and I will have to include Roots Bloody Roots. Now, I love the Roots album. It is a classic. Not my favourite, but Chaos AD is my favourite. Roots Bloody Roots, this repetition of the same continuing riff still is full of this adrenaline, the excitement, and the iconic chorus. Max Cavalero's vocals were great, and if I have to be honest, Roots Bloody Roots is a song that I am going to be moving away from, because if I have to make this choice of songs that I really consider to be some of the greatest songs of all time from this band, Roots Bloody Roots is not in the list. And imagine if the Roots album began with Attitude. That'll be really interesting, because I think that one is better through the brutality, the rawness and the punishing sound of the band. While this album is one of my all-time favourites, I wouldn't mind listening to it through any random occasion. Just don't have a connection with this song anymore. Besides that, I do love this band. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. These are the songs that came into my head the more I was thinking about it. But if you want to join in, let me know what your picks are in the comments down below. Whether you agree with me or not, these are just my opinions, and your opinions matter as much as mine. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.